Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. When you guys are seeing this video, I'm going to be 50 years old, and I really, honestly, guys, I can't believe it. I think as you get closer to this milestone, you wonder what it's going to be like. You still feel like you're young. I don't feel like I'm old, but I will be honest and tell you guys that this last few weeks leading up to this has been really eye opening for me. You know, as you're getting older, you hear people talk about going through a midlife crisis or just going through a period of reflection and change, and it's a real thing. I think especially when you have a lot of stuff going on in your career, a lot of stuff going on in family, you have kids that are getting older, you really start to try to put everything together. So I just wanted to kind of share with you guys some of my thoughts as it pertains to what I've been going through on a fatherhood front as I enter this next phase of my life at being 50. I think this moment, and I'm not gonna say I don't know how long this is gonna last, but honestly, guys, turning 50 for me has been kind of a spiritual thing. And here's what I mean by that. I've really been trying to focus on my relationship with my son. We have a great relationship. He's 15. He'll be 16 in a few months. But he's getting older, and so I have really been trying to focus on him and my relationship with him, and making sure that from a communication perspective, that we're always good. And in those moments, what I have discovered, what I felt, because I am a believer, I believe in Jesus Christ, and I feel like in those moments that God was showing me the relationship that He wants for me and Him. He was showing me that through the relationship with my son. And he's getting older. He's, like I say, he's a teenager, and sometimes I'll FaceTime him or I'll just call him, and just and we talked about it, kind of how he answers the phone. It's kind of taking things for granted, like hey, or he's on the phone, but he's not really fully in the moment with me. And just moments like that, I've really been like, man, like, all right, dude. And today I actually explained to him, if I'm calling you, I'm not calling you to get on you about something. I'm calling you because I need to hear from my son, and I need you to hear from me. But a lot of times it's I need to hear from you personally. Um, I could be going through something. I could be having a crazy day, and sometimes you just want to hear from your son. You want that relationship, and so I kind of feel, for me, again, on the spiritual side, that's the kind of relationship that God wants me to have. If I'm going through things, to have that relationship and to give him the type of attention that I'm asking from my son. And I think the beautiful thing about sharing this with him this evening is that I think he got it. And I think it's really important that when you're having these moments with your kids, that you do everything you can, no, regardless of, as a man, regardless of how you're feeling, don't lose it. But in those moments where maybe you do lose it a little bit, I think we have to have the courage, we have to have the heart, and to be able to put our ego in check and go and speak with our kids or our spouses and say, hey, I blew it. Because the one thing that I can say is, and I think about it in these moments where I may miss it or moments where I might not get it right. And the reason I'm focusing on my son, because if you have a daughter, you kind of know, like, you're kind of always good with them. Like, it's something different about the daddy daughter relationship. Not that one is better than the other, but it's just sounds like an understanding that's there. But when you have two men, I think it's important for him to understand how to resolve things, and even when he messes up, how to be able to go back, and the importance of being able to go back to that loved one, or just that the person that and say, hey, I didn't get it right in that moment, and take a moment to explain yourself. I never want my son to just be in a position where I say something or I'm abrasive with him and I put him in a position and now he has to walk around with that. He doesn't know how to process it and he's going through his own thing. I think as men, we have to understand, especially when we're dealing with our young men, our sons, is that they're learning how to communicate. And a lot of times they're terrible. If you find a young man, if you find any man is a great communicator, it's almost a special thing, right? I think for men, it's something that we have to learn, something that we have to really pay attention to and actively work at to get better at. But I think one of the best lessons that we can give to our sons is teaching them emotional intelligence and how to communicate themselves effectively. So even in the moments where they don't get it right, or even in the moments where things may be off, they know how to manage those moments. Now I know that, you might say, Troy, what does all of that what does all that have to do with turning 50? Right? These, I think about the life I've had over the first 50 years, and it's been a lot, right? And then you start thinking, probably don't have 50 more, right? So I am looking at what can I do better as I enter into this next chapter? What can I do better for myself physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, like all aspects of me? How can I develop better as a man, as a father, as a husband, as a friend? And that's really what I'm spending the time to do. So even on this channel, I will be sharing that with you guys, just my journey. And, you never have it all figured out. And I've had several young dads or several young men who are about to become fathers, they're in their early 20s, and they reach out to me and they'll see a video and they tell me, how the video helped them, which I'm always so appreciative of. But the one thing if you are a young father and you're about to have your first child, especially if you're in your 20s, I want you to give yourself some grace and understand that the most important thing that you can do is be there for the life of that child, to help raise that child. That's number one. Number two, understand that you're not going to have it all figured out. You're just not, right? And even at 50, I'm still figuring things out. So you have to give yourself grace to be able to manage those situations, and always understand that as a dad, you're going to always be learning. So I'm going to take you guys along on this journey, this road past 50. And I always appreciate your comments. I always appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the content. And as always, if you guys have any questions, definitely hit me up in the comments. I'm pretty active in my comments, and I appreciate the dialogue. All right. You guys take care, and I will catch you in the next video.